Hi, I'm Matthew Calvert. I'm the current director of methane results at Kairos Aerospace. And today I'm going to be interviewing Daniela Fernandez. Daniela, I'll give you an opportunity to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Daniela, and I'm a recent graduate from the Darden MBA.
Daniela, will you please walk me through your resume?
Of course. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me here. I'm very excited about this interview. That's very nice to meet you. A little bit about me and my resume. I am originally from Mexico, where I studied international business at Tec de Monterrey. And when I started my career, I really wanted to have a role that combined both business, so my college degree, and something creative, because that's who I am and I really needed that. So that's when I discovered marketing, and I found this role at Nestle in one of their chocolate brands, and it was a marketing role. So I really liked it. It definitely helped satisfy my craving for creativity. And I learned a lot in this role. I was doing a lot of very traditional marketing. So it was a lot of like ads and product launching, packaging design. It was really fun. But this was back in 2015, 2016, when the digital space and e-commerce was starting to boom in Mexico. So I really felt that I needed more digital marketing knowledge. So that's why I moved to RocketBlocks. I was in their infant formula brands and I had a purely digital role. And here I thought I knew about marketing, and then I started this role and I was like, wow, this is a completely different world. I learned all about their acronyms and KPIs and all that digital marketing and e-commerce implies. And here it was, I think my biggest lessons from this role. Number one was how important is digital marketing to be in touch with consumers, just because you have very constant feedback. Versus in traditional marketing roles, you do a campaign and you hope for the best and you see the results in 2-3 months sales. But here it was very immediate. So I really loved that. And the second thing that I really liked about this role was content marketing. Just as a background, I was in infant formula. So a lot of the content that we did was about maternity. It was about baby's nutrition. So it was really about empowering consumers to take the best decisions for their families. And if that involved buying your product, good for you. But it was not a very hard selling marketing. So this knowledge allowed me to transition into Mattel, where I started first in their smaller brands like Polly Pocket. And I was sort of like the content marketing specialist inside the team, so that I really brought the previous knowledge from these other roles. But it was now a brand manager role. So it involved managing people. It involved, again, going back to traditional marketing. And I was soon promoted to brand manager of Barbie, which we know now with all the Barbie movie and such is they do very, very cool and interesting marketing. So, I mean, I launched a bunch of different products. I had people in my charge. And I think that the biggest learning that I had from this role was the importance of cross-functional teams communication. So Barbie sells toys, and that's one business unit, but it also sells their license to other manufacturers or other products that are not toys. And when I got there, I felt like they were working as silos and the brand equity wasn't really transferred to other parts of the business. So I started making them work as a team. And I think that's my biggest contribution to that role. But because I was managing so many people and being in constant interactions, I had people on my charge, etc. I realized I never learned how to be a leader, and no one ever taught me how to be a manager. So it was time for me to go back to school. And that's why I decided it was time for me to start my MBA. And during the MBA, I discovered there's such a big world in business outside of marketing and outside of CPG. And I just got so excited to explore other things and learn about other industries. And it felt that consulting was the right place for me to keep learning and keep growing professionally. And of course, right now I know I love CPG and marketing, but I am eager to expand this knowledge and just add value in other areas. And that's why I applied to BCG specifically, also because I know they are doubling down in their digital development, and that's something very important for me since the beginning of my career.
And Danielle, how would you tailor your answer differently if you were interviewing for a different type of role?
I think it's important to know what the role is valuing and what they're really looking for. I think that in this role, problem solving is the most important thing, and team working. So that's why some of some parts of my career were focused on that. But if it was a more operational role or a more analytical or tactical role, I think I may had emphasized more the numbers and the results that I generated, or even the tools that I use, like Tableau, Ariba, etc. So for this role, I was more focused on the strategy parts of my career than actual tactical.
That makes a lot of sense. Anything else you want to add?
Um, I think I just wanted to add, I think sometimes this question, walk me through your resume, is very similar to tell me about yourself. In case that I had been asked, tell me about yourself, I think that I would have emphasized more my personality and my interests, maybe explain why creativity is important for me, maybe explain why I decided to study international business. So I think you don't give away that many personal details as you do in your resume, but definitely don't say whatever is on your resume only. Don't stick to that. Talk about the whys you moved in your career and what's the arc that has made you take the decisions that you've taken.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing with us today.
Thank you.